Hello everyone, welcome to Education Lecture. In this video, I'll be teaching you the fourth lesson, that is Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Forest, written by Vandana Shiva. If you are new to my channel, then please subscribe my channel to get further new updates. And as I had told in my previous videos that they won't ask you any questions regarding author or the poet, but Vandana Shiva is narrator in this lesson, and she has written her own autobiography. Autobiography means her real life experiences. Behind the lesson they have given you about Vandana Shiva. You need to study this. If you study last 4 points, in that major and main one is, if you read this about earth democracy, this point they will ask you for 1 mark. And this last line, what did she learn from the forest, Vandana Shiva? They'll ask diversity, freedom and coexistence. That's all. If you read from this portion, these 2 points is more than enough. And I'll be telling you the summary of this lesson. And in middle, I'll be telling you the meaning of unknown words also. As I had told in my previous videos, during this summary, I'll be telling all the major and main points. So let's get started. Vandana Shiva's ecological journey started in the forest of Himalaya. Her father was a forest conservator. Forest conservator is a conservator, a supporter of the protection of forest, and her mother became a farmer after the tragic partition of India and Pakistan. And it is from the Himalayan forest, an ecosystem, that she learned most about ecology. Ecosystem is, it is a biological community of interacting organisms and their environment. That means learning about our environment, plants, forest. See, they have given. Her mother used to sing songs, that is poems, composed by her mother only, about trees, forest and India's forest civilization. Behind the lesson, they have given the meaning. What is ecology? The study of relationships of organisms with each other and their surroundings. Okay. Her involvement in the contemporary ecological movement began with Chipko. Chipko, they will ask you, this is a definite question for 1 mark. What does Chipko refer to? Which was her contemporary ecological movement that she was involved in? Chipko, a non-violent response to the large-scale deforestation that was taking place in Himalayan region. This is main. You can just underline or highlight it in your textbook. Those who don't have textbook can see in the video. And they will be asking you about the peasant woman, about Bachini Devi. If you have already read, you may know. But just this is a summary I am saying you. In the 1970s, in this chapter there are many years they have given. Just remember it is around 1970s to 1990s, I think. Peasant is uneducated. Uneducated women from the region of Garhwal, Himalaya. They will ask, from where are the peasant women from? Peasant women from. They'll ask, Garhwal, Himalaya, had come out to the defense, protection of their forests, because logging had led to landslide, floods, scarcity of water, fodder and fuel. Logging refers to cutting of trees. This lesson is majorly of protection of forest. So that is a main point about forest they have told in this lesson full and fully. And due to this cutting of trees, there was landslide. As you know, after cutting the trees, because the soil will become loose, there will be landslides. If there is a heavy rain, there will be floods, scarcity of water, fodder and fuel. Since women provide all these basic needs, because they need everything for their cooking, their daily uses, it was very difficult for them to collect water, firewood, which caused for them heavier burden, because they had to walk longer walks for getting or collecting water. So women knew what was the real value of the forest after this cutting of trees. So the people who come to cut the trees, they thought the value of the trees are only the timber and the money which they get after selling them. So women thought, no, that is not the real value of the forest. After the cutting the trees, it is a dead tree, right? It is waste. None of the use it comes. But really, the forest provides them springs and streams, that is water. You may see due to the forest, the roots may be holding few water, right? Food for their cattle, fuel for their herds, fireplace. Herds is fireplace. The women declared that they would hug the trees and the loggers, woodcutters, would have to kill them before killing the trees. If the woodcutters come again to the forest for cutting the trees, they will hug the trees, so that the woodcutters, before cutting the trees, they have to cut them, means kill them before killing the trees. They thought women know the real value of forest is all these basic needs which they need for their living. But the woodcutters did not understand this. So this was about the peasant women, these three paras, and this the song of their prayer. This they won't ask. Okay, then in 1973, Vandana Shiva had gone to her favorite forest. To swim in their favorite stream. In her favorite stream before leaving to Canada to do her PhD. So they will ask you a question, where did Vandana Shiva do her PhD? In Canada. Okay. Then, yeah, she goes to the forest, her favorite forest, to swim in that. But when she comes and sees here, there was no stream at all, there was no water at all running in the river. Okay, so it was reduced to trickle, a small slow flow of water, means drop by drop. If you open your tap slowly, right, it will fall, right, drop by drop water will fall, like that it was. She was very shocked seeing to this, so she decided to become a volunteer of the Chipko movement. So Chipko movement, you know, right, an all-manner response to the large-scale deforestation that was taking place in Himalayan regions. So at her vacations, that is during her vacation holidays, she used to come to this forest and do padayatras, that is walking, documenting the deforestation and work of the forest activists. That is the forest activists, what they will do, they will check, right, what how the trees are getting reduced, what is the reason behind this, everything they'll check out. Like that she was also checking out and spreading the message of Chipko, that message of Chipko means that trees and forests should not be destroyed. So this para is important, and this woman knew that real value. They will ask this also. This para is also important. Yeah, and this is also important. Often more than the peasant woman, they ask about Bhachni Devi. Bhachni Devi. Okay, so one of the dramatic Chipko actions that took place in Himalayan region of Advani in 1977. So they will ask you that what was the dramatic Chipko action that took place in Himalayan region and by whom it was led, against whom that was led also they will ask, and what was the reason behind that also they will ask. Okay, it was led in Himalayan region in Advani in 1977. Okay, it comes around peasant woman is 1970. Then she came to spread about the message Chipko 1973, and she came to swim in her favorite forest. And 1977, the Advani movement, that is the Bhachni Devi's movement. And when a village woman named Bhachni Devi, she led resistance against her own husband. Her husband had accepted the contract of cutting the trees. So Bhachni Devi was very angry. How could he accept this? Because forest provides everything to us. Our daily living is based on the forest and their flowing water. So how can he accept this? She was very against him. So she and other women, okay, they took lighted lanterns. Although it was a broad daylight, it was morning or daylight, it was bright day only. In the morning they would go with lighted lanterns. The woodcutters would think what stupid women they are. They are coming with lighted lanterns. Because they are coming with lighted lanterns, because the woodcutters are blind. They really don't know. Blind means no, just for a reason. They really do not know the real value of forest. Just blindly they are cutting the trees. If they know the value of forest only, no, they will also protect together with others. So only they come with lighter lanterns that we will teach you what is forestry. So the woodcutter, that is the forester, will say, what, you foolish woman, you are teaching me only about forestry. They will say, he will say that fleeing is cutting. The forester will say, what? You don't know what the forest bears. We know the forest is a profit, reason and timber. By selling these woods, we get profit. So the woman said, no, the forest bears for us soil, water and pure air, which will help them to live further. This is the song. This and all they won't ask you. This they won't ask. Just to say what they are telling in response to the forester. There is produce. Okay, so that was the concept. That's over. Now it comes beyond monocultures. And sustain, just for information, strengthen or support the earth and all she bears. Okay, monocultures is cultivation of one crop or species. You know, mono means one, right? So cultivation of one crop. From Chipko, Vandana Shiva learned a lot about biodiversity and biodiversity based many living economies. So she learned both the protection of biodiversity and forest have become her life mission now. She had written a book, that is Monocultures of Mind. That also they may ask, what book did Vandana Shiva write? That is Monocultures of Mind. In that she has written that failure to understand biodiversity and its main function is at the root of impoverishment, is weaken of nature and culture. Okay, if we don't know what is the real forest, that what our forest really bears, then we are totally losing. That is, our future will be in a destructive, very horrible way. Just to make you understand, I'm saying, you can't write that and all. Okay, next para. This they will ask. From here they will ask, just to write a brief answers will be very useful about Navadanya movement and Navadanya farm. So from the Himalayan region she learnt about diversity, right? Biodiversity. So she wanted to transfer to the protection of biodiversity. So she needed farms to demonstrate, and from many farmers she started saving seeds for her field. She needed farm to demonstrate, and in this field she will be demonstrating the seeds which she saved from the farmers. Okay, so she started demonstrating and training others that what is the monoculture, cultivation of one crop, and how much useful it will be for you only, that is for us. Okay, so thus Navadanya, they will ask, this is important, when did Navadanya start, where did it start, where it is located. Okay, Navadanya farm was started in 1994 in Doon Valley, located in the lower elevation Himalayan region of Uttarakhand province. If you are thorough with this line, you can write until province, or you want to finish your answer in short, you can write until Doon Valley. For a safer side, you can write until this. Okay, as I told 1994, I told right 1970s to 1990s, around it is coming years in this chapter. Don't get confused. Okay, she started Navadanya, and in this farm, right, she started saving preserve. She started growing 630 varieties of rice, 150 varieties of wheat, hundreds of other species. Okay, and a practice and a prompt a biodiversity intensive form of farming. Is the prompt reply is that what does biodiversity do? Is they produce more food, okay, and nutrition per acre. The conservation of biodiversity is therefore an answer for the food and nutrition crisis. So if you conserve this biodiversity, further in future we may not have any food crisis, nutrition crisis, because of the, why she's saying nutrition crisis is nowadays they put pesticide, insecticide, all the fertilizers which are chemical based. She's saying that only. Now chemical based items if we eat, it is very harmful for us only. If we use the organic, now you know right, organic farming has become, demand is more for it now. So if you do that, our nutrition also will be good, so there won't be any nutrition crisis. Okay. Next, Navdanya. That was Navdanya farm. The real actual movement of Navdanya is a biodiversity conservation. What is Navdanya? It is a biodiversity conservation, okay, of farming you can write, and organic farming, and that she had originally started in 1987. Navdanya farm that she started was in 1994. This originally Navdanya she started in 1987. Okay, it is spreading now. So far, with every farmer, she has set up 100 community seed banks that will provide free seeds to the farmers in a cheaper cost all across India. There is totally no, sorry, they have given more than, okay, more than 100 community seed banks, and now she has, till now she has saved 3000 rice varieties. Okay, and it has helped many farmers to change themselves from, I had told you right, chemical based fossil fuel and chemical based monocultures to biodiverse ecological system nourished by the sun and the soil. The fertilizers we get originally from the sun and the soil. Okay, transition is change. So biodiversity has been Vandana Shiva's teacher of abundance and freedom of cooperation and mutual giving. So it is a freedom. We will have freedom, right? After succeeding ourselves, oh, we have done something good. In future, we will have some freedom to save ourselves from all the major food. Now everyone need food, water, right? If you save that only, in future we can stay little free. That is what she's saying. This is about beyond monocultures. Okay. Now the next concept comes, rights of nature on the global stage, that is a worldwide. Okay, there was what we recognize her agency. Agency is service under rights. That is why, so we know nature is our teacher. From nature only we learn everything. Okay, and there was a conference that Ecuador, they will ask you, this is very important, Ecuador rights of nature, and where is that, Bolivia is harmony with nature, I think so. I will say, I will tell at the end. I have little confusion. It's okay. I got to know. Ecuador has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution in April 2011. No need to write this year. If you remember, around 90 is really enough. Okay. The United Nations General was inspired by the Ecuador. Okay. So it came to an universal. Yeah. Ecuador is rights of nature. United Nations General Assembly it has given declaration rights of Mother Earth, and Bolivia is harmony with nature. So these 3 points you have to remember. It will come for 1 mark questions. So United Nations was inspired by Ecuador, and they came to a declaration of rights of Mother Earth. And Bolivia, which they are, so Ecuador had organized, right, the conference. In that also Bolivia told harmony with nature, that is interdependent and interrelated with nature. Okay, on the Earth Day celebration they declared this. So much of the discussion centered on ways of transform, that is change systems based on domination of people over nature. That is, most of the destruction is happening because we people are over dependent on nature. We depend on nature. Yeah, we need food, we need sandalwood, we need wood, everything. We are destroying like this only. We, for our needs, we are destroying the forest. Like men over women, how men is dependent on women for her daily chores, work, and rich over poor. like that, into new systems based on partnership. So United Nations Secretary General reported Harmony with Nature issued in connection with the conference. In that conference they decided, right, that importance of reconnecting with nature. Finally, that is finally, environmentally destructive behavior, that is environmentally destructive behavior is the result of the failure to recognize that human beings are an inseparable part of nature. As I told, we are over dependent on nature. We are inseparable part of nature, and that we cannot damage it without severely damaging ourselves. Okay, so separatism is indeed at the root of disharmony with nature and violence against nature and people. As a prominent South African environmentalist, Cormac Clunan, they will ask you what is apartheid. Meaning, for 1 mark, they will ask what is apartheid means separateness. Apartheid means separateness. So you know that Africans were they were separated due to the basis of their color discrimination that was there in Africa, but nowadays it is put behind, means it has decreased. Okay, so today we need to overcome the wider and deeper apartheid and eco-apartheid. They may ask you this also. Eco-apartheid based on the illusion of separateness of humans from nature in our minds and lives. So we should not be over dependent on nature for everything. Okay, little we should be away from the nature also. You may know, if we do destructive to nature, nature will also be destructive to us, like floods, earthquakes. At one, you may not imagine also, suddenly the earthquake may come, floods may come, like it had happened a few years ago in Japan. Just it washed away everything, like that it may do. So we don't know how nature is also. If we behave bad to nature, nature will also behave bad to us only. Need not write this and all, just for your information to simplify I am saying. Next concept is dead earth world view. So why did our earth become a dead earth? Just imagine, why did it become? Because due to the industrial revolution, they have given, see, industrial revolution and the war against, that is destruction of nature, began with the idea of separateness. We think we have to be away, but also we go and depend on the nature only. Means without depending also, we distract her by doing factories, by doing beverages, like cool drinks. They and all do a lot of harm to our rivers. Our soil also gets damaged. They put industrial waste, everything. Okay, it is just for an example I am saying how it is destroying our nature. Okay, so monoculture replaced diversity, raw materials and dead matters, replaced a vibrant, active earth. Due to this raw material, that is the dead matter, the industrial waste, our active earth has become into dull. What to say, it has somewhat destroying itself. We are only destroying it a lot. So terra nullius, the empty land ready for occupation regardless of the presence of indigenous local peoples, replaced terra madre, mother earth. So the empty land nowadays is also occupied for some other purpose for cultivation. So the famous philosopher, that is Francis Bacon, called the father of modern science, and is a father of English essay also. They won't ask you, okay? Just they will ask, what did Francis Bacon tell? What did Caroline Merchant tell? What did Cormac Clunan tell? What are their ideas about the destruction of forest? So Francis Bacon says, due to our inventions, nowadays they are doing lot of inventions, right? Due to that also the earth is getting destroyed. In short, this is only the meaning. Subdue is control, her is nature. Okay, and next the philosopher and historian Caroline Merchant points that I have written so many. Nurturing is look after or protect us. Inert, inactive, manipulable, skillfully controlled. Capitalism is control over private owner. Just you can write down, make a note, I'll be telling you wait the meaning. Exploitation of nature is treated very unfairly. Entrails innermost part of the body. Mutilate, injure her is nature. Slay is skill. So we people nowadays are getting, we are the leader. We are thinking we are the leader and we are controlling the earth. Slowly we are digging for the industries, the land we are digging. Slowly still we are digging for gold. Most of the precious stone we just go on dig. We are slaying, killing her slowly by destroying everything which are available in the nature for us directly. He is saying that. Okay, so next concept is what nature teaches. This is a little big lesson, but also if you know the story as I have told in my previous video, once you understand the story, it is very easy to write your big answers. They will definitely ask questions regarding Vandana Shiva. Vandana Shiva means this chapter. Okay, what nature teaches. Today, at the time of multiple crises, that is danger, intensified by globalization, development of technology, we need to move away from the paradigm, that is example of nature as dead matter. We need to move to an ecological, that is relation of living organism paradigm, and for this the best teacher is nature herself. As I told, we ourselves are destroying due to the development of technologies. Nowadays a lot of technology has developed. We are happy with the technology, but at the same time with this advantage or disadvantage is happening, that our nature is getting destroyed. So we should not think our nature as a dead matter. Okay, so this too is very important. They will ask, so whatever I have told important, they will ask questions regarding that. So Earth University teaches Earth democracy. They have given in your meanings, I think, Earth democracy. Yeah, the freedom of all species to evolve within, that is grow or develop gradually within the web of life. We should give, what to say, we have to give freedom for all the species to evolve within the web of life. Now you know, due to the lot of radiation, that is the phone towers, mobile towers are built right now, 4G 5G everything they are saying. Due to this many of the birds are getting destroyed. We are not getting, as you know, from so many years you may not have seen lot of sparrows. So that is an example. Don't write this and all in a exam. It is an example due to what happens due to the development of technology. Okay, Earth democracy with the freedom of all species to evolve within the web of life. They'll ask you the question, what is Earth democracy? Okay, and the freedom and responsibility of humans as a members of Earth family to recognize, protect and respect the rights of other species. We have to respect other species also. We have to preserve, conserve all the animals, birds, trees. Okay, we have to conserve all, like how we ourselves are protecting from danger, like that only we have to not harm them also. We have to give them also the freedom. So Earth democracy is shift from anthropocentrism to ecocentrism. Anthropocentrism is we humans are the central part of the universe. They have given in your glossary, yeah, regarding humans are the central element of the universe. To ecocentrism. Ecocentrism means regarding earth and nature as the center of the universe. Okay, and since we all depend on the earth, our democracy translates into human rights to food and water, to freedom from hunger and thirst. We all depend on nature, right? Like that also, sorry, we are over dependent on nature. We should not be dependent more on her. We ourselves should find a way to stay in this earth. We should not destroy her. It doesn't mean that without depending on nature we cannot live also, I'm sure, but still we should not destroy her for our wants. Okay, and because of Earth University is located near Navdanya. Navdanya is a biodiversity farm. It is located near Navdanya, a biodiversity farm. Participants learn to work with living seeds and living soil and the web of life. So when they come to this Navdanya, from Earth University to Navdanya, they will be learning about living seeds and living soil, as they had told you right here, beyond monocultures. Here it was there, sun and soil, nourished by sun and soil. All she was saving seeds from many of the farmers. That only they will do. So those who are people come to Earth University, they visit Navdani also, which is nearly located, and they practice with all these living seeds and living soil. And the participants who come here is farmers, school children, and people across the world. So the most popular courses in this Navdanya farm is the A to Z organic farming and agroecology and Gandhian globalization. They will ask this question for sure. What are the famous or the most popular courses in Navdanya? So next, last concept in this chapter, the poetry of the forest. The Earth University is inspired by Rabindranath Tagore, India's national poet and Nobel Prize laureate. This is important. Who was inspired by the Earth University? They will ask. Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore also started a he was inspired by Earth University, right? So he also thought about, and he started a learning center in Shantiniketan in West Bengal, India, as a forest school. That is to learn about the forest and take inspiration from the nature. They have given here both to take inspiration from nature and to create an Indian cultural renaissance. So they'll ask you, where did Tagore start his learning center? Shantiniketan in West Bengal, India. Okay. So this school became an university in 1921, growing into one of India's most famous centers of learning. So today, just as in Tagore time, we have to turn to nature and the forest for the lessons in freedom. That is, what is actually freedom mean? What does the forest bear for us? What does it give? Why should we should not destroy the forest? So we have to turn just and think from the nature side point of view also. Okay. Then next in this, he has written an essay. In his essay, Tapovan, they will ask you, Tapovan, what does he say? What did Tagore essay name? Name the Tagore essay, that is Tapovan, forest in purity. Okay, Tagore says that regeneration is growth. India's best ideas have come here. It starts the main point. From here to the society, main point here it starts. What does Tagore say about the essay? About his essay, that is, India's best ideas have come from the forest, that is from nature. When people want some ideas or to be in peace, they go to the forest, that is our nature, with a beautiful view, with a silent from our city, that is the without the communication of man. We are communicated with trees, rivers, lakes, away from the crowds, which makes us peace in mind. And this intellectual evolution of man, that is development, that creates in humans by going to this forest, that is any forest nature. If you go, they will be in peace of mind, and this peace of mind only all the poets, plays, whatever the beautiful verses, poems they have written, many of the poets have gone to this forest to be in peace of mind. In this peace of mind, we get lot of ideas that we do not get in this city, due to the lot of the lot of sound. That peace won't be there. So he says that are always in play in the forest, varying from species to species, season to season, sight and sound. The unifying principle is life in diversity of democratic pluralism, thus became the principle of Indian civilization. So this para and this para is important. In this video in this it is unity and diversity that is the basis for both ecological sustainability and democracy. So diversity without unity becomes the source of conflict, and unity without diversity becomes a ground of external control. So both without unity and diversity we can't be. The state of being very different is diversity without unity. Unity without a state of being united. Okay. So this is true of both nature and culture. The forest is a unity in its diversity. So they'll ask, what is a forest? It is unity and diversity, and we are united with nature through our relationship with the forest. I think I need not explain these and all. Just if you read the lesson, you will get to know. And in Tagore's writings, the forest has not just the source of knowledge and freedom. It is a source of beauty and joy of art and aesthetics is appreciation of beauty, of harmony and perfection. It symbolizes the universe. So you know how nature is so beautiful. You may be seeing, right, you can search in beautiful places in the world which are explored nowadays are so beautiful that if you see you will get a peace of mind. So he says it is not just the knowledge and freedom we get from the nature. It is a source of beauty. So beautiful, the forests, the seas, the rivers, the joy we get, and harmony and perfection. They will ask you this question: what the forest teaches us, according to Rabindranath Tagore, is union, compassion, and enoughness, according to Rabindranath Tagore. And in last they are given, according to Vandana Shiva, forest teaches us is diversity, freedom, and coexistence. More than Vandana Shiva, they'll ask you what Rabindranath Tagore says about forest teaches us. Okay. As a principle of equity is quality of being impartial, how to enjoy the gifts of nature without exploitation and accumulation. This Vandana Shiva is saying that nature is a gift. We have to not exploit her, that is by destroying her and doing such other destructive things. So Tagore quotes from the ancient texts written in the forest. This they want to ask just to know. I am saying those who don't have textbook know all that moves in the moving world are enveloped by God, and find enjoyment through renunciation, not through greed of possession. No species in the forest appropriates the share of another species. Every species sustains itself in cooperation with others. Now we people are dependent on nature, and we snatch her, or to say we destroy nature without telling her. But all the species, that is other species, are not like that. Without knowing, we are taking the belongings, taking things which belong to them. Like that only he's saying no species in the forest appropriate the share of, no species will encourage, that is to take from ones without permission, the share of another species. The end of consumerism and accumulation, that is we are destroying the nature and accumulating the land, is the beginning of joy in living. If we stop this, that is consuming excess of land and accumulating for industrial purposes, if you end up this only, the joy of living starts from there. So environmentalism is concerned with the protection of the environment. Okay. The conflict between greed and compassion, conquest and cooperation, violence and harmony that Tagore wrote about continues today, and it is the forest that can show us the way beyond this conflict. And once if you go to the forest and feel the peace that is available in the forest, next you won't destroy the forest at all. That is what Tagore tells. So this is the end of the chapter. I think the video has become too long. You may know what is ecology. It is a branch of biology concerned with the study of relations of organisms to one another and their surroundings. What is biodiversity? Existence of variety of plant and animal life in the world. Earth, democracy, biodiversity. They may ask you the meanings, and I'll be showing you the 1 mark questions which are often repeated in your exams. There are more than 40. So if I see, it is the lesson everything I need to know. I learned in the forest. Vandana Shivasulle. If I just read out, it will just extend the video. So I'll just show. If you want to note it down, you can note it down or just read. If you have any doubts regarding this lesson, you can just comment in the comment box, so that even I would understand whether you people have understood the lesson or not, or you have any problem with my teaching. Also you can share in the comment box, so that it will be helpful for me also to do my further videos. Yes, next page. Yeah, next page. I'm showing you slowly because some may be reading, some may be just noting. If you are noting, then please pause the video and note it. As I had told in my previous videos, many baby losing marks with 1 word answer, 1 mark question answer. Suddenly, in a hurry, we may not, in a tension, we may not be getting answers. You may think that so many questions, even I'll feel confused. No. If you know the story is more than enough. Everything which I had told in this summary, right? Important points. That only I have given in this question answers. So that it will just, while before going to exam hall, you can just see this, glance it once. As I had told, this question, which country has recognized the rights of nature in its constitution? Ecuador. I told right, rights of nature. Then rights of Mother Earth, Bolivia. Sorry, I had told it wrong. Okay, rights of Mother Earth is Bolivia. United Nations General Harmony. Yeah, I told correct only. I'm sorry. Next page. This question they will ask you for MCQs. What is eco-apartheid? If they don't ask also, they will ask you like this 1 mark questions. And this is about what are the views according to Caroline Merchant and Francis Bacon from their point of view. This is the answer. If you want, you can write the textbook answer. This is a little simplified answer. This question is very important. 2 popular courses I told, right? On Earth University, A to Z organic farming and agroecology, Gandhi and globalization. And what is Navadhanya? It is a biodiversity farm. Next page. Yeah. Last of 1 mark questions. And these are your brief answers. If you know this story, as I had told, you can easily write your big answers and score marks. Can't see this question, you can't see, I think. Write a note on Navdanya farm and Navdanya movement. Write a note on Earth University. So if you like this video, like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.